Hi Ben. Now that we are in a era of superhero movies and the very conservative narrative cinema with 3D backed up with 3D, so your film is quite different. So was it extremely hard to come up with this film?
No, this is like what comes out naturally. I think that those other kind of films are ones that get kind of cooked up. Between millions of different people trying to figure out what everybody likes. But this film sort of emerged very naturally. This is sort of the way that our team thinks and the way that we do things. And I think the problem is that a lot of times filmmakers think of something and then it gets run through a machine, and then what comes out the other side is very different from what they originally think of. And this film is very close to what we originally imagined.
We can say that you began with animation, then you moved to New Orleans and for a feature filmmaking, documentary and feature filmmaking. So was it a big step, or it's a totally two different worlds? So what was the motive to make this huge step?
Yeah, it was a big step. The motive was probably just loneliness. It's just like, animation, it's just you and puppets and darkness for weeks and weeks, and all my friends would see me come out and they'd be like, "What are you doing? You need to stop this." And so I think I got to the end of my rope with animation and felt like I wanted to go back into the world and make films that I was always interested in characters and people, but for some reason I got routed into puppets. And so for me it was trying to figure out how to then take these kinds of big stories that you can do in animation more easily and then bring them into the real world, which is always a huge thing, because oftentimes I'm imagining something that's only possible in animation, and then you try to do it in the real world and it doesn't work. And so it does take a lot of kind of revising your thinking to switch to live action.
So can you tell me about the Hungarian connections in Beast of the Southern Wild?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I was in. I think. I was in the Sundance labs, and the guy who runs the Sundance labs is a professor at UCLA named Gyula Gazdag, who was one of the main influences on the film. And I remember watching his film at Sundance and it being one of the real inspirations for the movie. It kind of takes this similar path of exploring realism and the real world, but sort of showing how the real world can spill into kind of a heightened world from the point of view of a child. And so his film and his help on the film was really important from the script all the way through the end of the edit.
During the Sundance, everybody said, "Oh, here's this new filmmaker. He's going to be the star director of the tomorrow." Later in Cannes, said, "Okay, here is the star director of today." So probably something going to happen at the Oscars. So is it a surprise for you? There's this big success, and how can you handle it?
You just got to keep your head low. It's like, I don't know. It's been shocking. Yeah, it's been we were totally unprepared for it. I didn't even know that a lot of this stuff existed. I don't think I knew what the camera door was before I went to Cannes. It's like all this stuff is like, oh, okay, you do this now, you do this now. I think that what it comes down to is that no matter how big the film gets, the plan is to go back into the same kind of structure that we made this first film with the same people in the same way. And so that's very comforting. It's like it doesn't feel like I've actually leapt into another world, because I know when I go back home nobody's going to give a shit. Oh, sure. Nobody's going to care, and it's going to be the same as it was, and it's going to be the same struggle to make the next film as it was to make this one. So you just remember that eventually you go back to earth, and there's work to do.
So cool. So you are not directing Men in Black 65
no.
For the next one. We are really grateful that you came to Hungary. So regarding Cannes and Sundance, this is quite a small festival, Jameson CineFest. So what was the motive that you accepted our invitation?
Well, I've been to Hungary before. I've been to Budapest before, and I loved it. I had the best time. And so, when you get a chance to go back to a country that you've had a great experience in, I was thrilled for the invitation, and I wouldn't turn it down. It was like I really wanted to come and it's a very interesting. It's going to be an interesting place to show the film. You know, I love showing the films to different cultures, and this is a very unique place. And I'm curious how people react. And so, you know, I'm just excited to be here and support it.
What do you think? What do you think about whiskey? What was your connection to whiskey?
Well, I'd say much of the film was made under the influence of Jameson, so you know, that's actually entirely accurate. So this is a very fitting sponsor for my film.